This is my journal. Yeah, I know, it's ugly. Crossed out words, messy handwriting, some pages that are very embarrassing to look at. If you tried to start journaling 100 times and could never stick to it, or if your journal has 5 entries from the last 6 months and then nothing, keep watching because in this video I'm about to show you why you should get yourself an ugly journal. So get comfortable, grab yourself something to drink, and let's go! Starting a journal is like buying a new notebook and then being too scared to write in it because you don't want to ruin it. You spend 40 minutes on Amazon reading reviews, then find one that's 12 euros, but actually the 14 euro one has better paper, so you get that one. It arrives, it's beautiful, and you put it on your desk next to the candle you only light specifically for this moment. To, of course, not write in it, because now it's too pretty to write in, and that is the pretty journal problem. The moment your little friend right here becomes something that needs to look a certain way, it's only fun for the first 5 times. Imagine you come home tired and you just want to get your thoughts out, but journaling now means you have to write pretty. So you open it, you look at the blank page, you pick up the pen, you put it down, you pick it up again, you write the date, decide you don't like how the date looks, close the journal and go on your phone. And I'm pretty sure, because this was absolutely me, that you don't write your messy or your ugly thoughts in your beautiful journal. Not when right next to it is a page with 20 things you're grateful for in 4 different colors. And this is exactly why you need an ugly journal. Number 1. Write first, decorate later. And I mean write first as in open your journal, start writing and get whatever is in your head out before you do anything else. Not after you've picked the color scheme for the page, not after you've decided whether this entry deserves the star stickers or the heart ones. What happens when you decorate first is what I would call decorative procrastination. That is when you spend the entire journaling session making the page look nice instead of sitting with your thoughts. Very effective avoidance strategy. It's highly recommended if you want to feel like you did something without actually doing anything. Rule number 2. Damage is good. Got coffee stains on your page? Leave it. A journal with wrinkled pages has been in a bag. The page you wrote while crying and the ink smeared a little at the bottom? You definitely need to keep that one. Because all of that just means that you used it and it didn't become a decorative object. The most used journals look the worst, and those are the ones worth keeping. Number 3. Don't rip out pages. If you crossed out a word because you wrote it wrong, that's fine. If you wrote something embarrassing, keep it. Because 5 years from now, you're gonna flip back through that journal and see like all the embarrassing moments and where you clearly had a bad day. Yeah, you'll reread it someday, laugh and see that you got over it. You will be so glad that you didn't throw it in the trash, because some of the pages will remind you of a version of yourself you would have forgotten maybe otherwise. Journaling only works if it's honest, and it's only honest if you let yourself be a little bit messy. Rule number 4. Your handwriting doesn't need to be pretty. If it looks like you wrote it on a bumpy bus ride after a job interview that didn't go as you planned, that's fine. If some letters are huge and the next word is tiny, and the whole thing looks like 2 different people wrote this, your notes are not going to the museum, they are not going to a calligraphy competition, it's just for your brain. You don't need an expensive notebook. You don't need to have fake cream pages or that satisfying magnetic clasp that makes you feel like a person who has their life together. You can get one for 2 euros at a gas station and it will do the exact same job. You won't be precious about it. You will not save the first page for a crazy story that you hope will happen. A cheap notebook doesn't have those expectations because it's a book from the gas station. So, guys, the best journal is the one with writing in it. When to use the ugly journal. Use it when you're sad, when you are anxious, when something hurt you and you don't know how to say it out loud yet. If you're angry, write angry. In big letters, a lot of angry dots or like lines all over the page. Let the handwriting look as chaotic as you feel, because the page doesn't mind. You don't need to have it figured out before you write it down. Sometimes the clarity comes after, or sometimes it doesn't come at all, and that's okay too. So before you close this video and go buy a cheap notebook, I know what some of you are thinking. But pretty journals are not bad. Yes, that's true. I do pretty journaling too. Gratitude pages with nice handwriting, or for example, these are like little sketches when I was solo traveling in Japan. What I'm talking about is using an aesthetic journal as a thinking tool. Oftentimes the problem is that you buy a beautiful notebook, you feel so motivated, and the first few pages are really gorgeous. Then life happens and you just want to write something down quickly, but you cannot, because it would ruin the aesthetic. Guess what happens? Yeah, you close it and never open it again. That's a very sad ending. Before you buy a journal, ask yourself one question. What is it actually for? If the answer is odd or you want to keep your memories, and yeah, go get a nice one. But if the answer is to think out loud and process your feelings, I think a cheap one might be better here. Stop waiting until your handwriting is prettier, or your thoughts are more organized, or you finally feel like the kind of person who journals. Go find the cheapest notebook you own, and you know, I'm like 100% sure that in your drawer there's like a notebook that sits there since 2019, has 4 pages filled with random math calculations you don't even know from what. Yeah, this one. Rip those pages out and start. If you need an ugly journal because your brain never gets quiet, that is worth looking into. I made a video about why being bored is one of the best things you can do for your mental health. It's right here. And yes, I spent way too much time trying to make this video look a little bit more prettier. I know, some habits take time, so subscribe if you want to see me work on that.